Hey girls, it's Lisa. Today I'm partnering with Ulta Beauty to bring you this look inspired by this dress. I've always loved guest model makeup. I wanted to do a look for you with the Naked palette that just got re-released. And so I did this look, which I think is a very guest model, everyday glam makeup. I used some of my favorite products from Ulta Beauty, and I will list all of the products below. Shop Ulta's most anticipated biannual event from Ulta Beauty. The 21 Days of Beauty event is here to help you explore your passion for all things beauty. We want to be your beauty BFFs, and every day from August 30th till September 19th, Ulta Beauty will be dropping new 50% off daily beauty steals on makeup, skincare, hair, fragrance, and more. Get excited and spread the word for the event and celebrate the recent launches. Ulta Beauty is excited to help you in your journey of self-expression, because at Ulta Beauty, we believe that everyone deserves to feel beautiful both inside and out. And I believe that too. I believe the more you spend making your outside look and feel beautiful, the better you'll feel on the inside. Even if you're home all alone, just think there's something to it, the act of getting ready. So stay tuned if you want to see this look. Thanks again to Ulta Beauty, and I will list all of the links below. And right now it is 5:58, almost 6 o'clock. So I would say I've had this makeup on about 6 hours. So that just goes to show you how well all of this lasts. And I was telling you about Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty. And the week I am featuring is week 2. So I went to Ulta Beauty today and bought some of the things that are going to be up to half price the week of, I will put the date down here. I also bought some other stuff that I needed. So each day, and the week I am featuring is, Sunday, September 8th. For 7 days, and each day you go in and there will be different deals up to half off. So the first thing I got is the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Body Lotion Cucumber. This is a good brand. And so I thought I would try this for us, safe for sensitive skin. I also bought the Beauty Blender Solid. That's how I like to clean mine. Okay, another thing that's going to be on sale is the High Gloss from Kylie. So, okay, you can see where my sunglasses mark is on there. Lip liner still on. And then this color looked so good. Kylie High Gloss in Cocoa K. So let's put this on and see. I was thinking it would go good over this. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. That is gorgeous. So this is a winner. So you'll be looking for new things to try like I'm doing, and then some of your favorites. Let's see, something else is the IT Beauty brushes, IT Cosmetics for Ulta brushes. And this is the one I chose. It's going to be half off, but there were several of these that were going to be half off. The one I chose I thought would be good for the whole contouring thing like I was talking about. And it is number 113, powder and cream blushes, but it's a thin angled brush. What else? They have lashes. One of the days they have lashes half off, the Premier lashes. And this is one of my favorite styles. Sassy. It's kind of like a half lash, similar to what I use today. Okay, guys. So don't forget about Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty. If you like this makeup, I love it. As you can see, it's lasted all day. And stay tuned, it's coming. Okay, so let's start by, I was just going to use these sunglasses to hold my hair back like that. And I've already done my skincare. And as far as primer goes, on my day-to-day, I don't use it. It's not that I don't think it does good, but this is going to be what I do every day for a modern guest model look, which is my favorite look. I'm going to use my just Holy Grail, will always be in my collection. I feel like buying 5 backups just to make sure, but it's the Hourglass Ambient in shade number 8. And I am using an Eco Tools sponge. These are some of my favorites. The purple one is the one I typically use, but this one was a special edition. Okay, so that was one pump, and I may need a little bit more because it was a new sponge. So always keep that in mind. I am going to go ahead to the other side because I don't need a lot of heavy coverage like on my forehead, but I do like it on my cheeks and stuff because they're red. A lot of that is from Retin-A. And this is how I make sure I get in all the pores and stuff. I just keep on keeping on. And then I'm going to go a little bit, and then I usually drag it down my neck. And honestly, I don't know if I need much more coverage. Okay, sometimes I use a concealer. Sometimes I just use powder. Today, let's use a concealer. This is the beauty of being in my bathroom here. Let's see, I've got two go-tos. I've got my Natasha Denona and my Charlotte Tilbury, and I'll put all the shades below. Let's go with the Denona. Just a little bit, a little bit. Now, I usually take a beauty blender. I guess I want that extra coverage up underneath my eyes, around my nose, and a little bit on my chin, like that. Now, one of my favorite powders is this Maybelline Fit Me powder. So I get some in my lid. I'm going to take the other side of this damp sponge, press it in there, and then I really work it in on my hand. And then I do one side at a time, like that. Press again. I have found that this is not a good one for baking. If you're just going to use a puff, it's a little too heavy for that. It actually has a little bit of coverage, I think. And then I'll, just use it too to kind of set the places that get oily, like that. So I basically just want a perfect canvas. I want to look like a mannequin, like a guest model. Okay, now I will always start out with this palette, the Physicians Formula. It is just a good palette. And I have all of these brushes here on top of a towel, and I'm not very particular. I just grab there's usually just a certain shape that I'll grab. I think I'm gonna grab this one. And I go in this lightest color. That's definitely my most used color. And I'm gonna do, since we're wanting that guest model look, I'm gonna keep it very structured. Like you can see on their makeup, a good contour. And that really helps me because I will go down too far. I don't know why I can't control myself, but that really helps me get that good, I'm gonna do blend it in like this, that good, sharp contour that I love so much. And then I'm gonna take this. It's a very soft powder, so make sure you work it in your brush. And then I do most anything I do to my face, not my blush, but I'll bring down. So that is the beginning look. Matter of fact, I usually grab just a mid-size brush. I'm not too particular, just any mid-size crease brush. Grab a little bit of this, and I always contour my eyes first. This may not be like necessary for you, but if you'll notice how deep set my eyes are, I like to really frame my eyes, and then I come in and I go down my nose, not to make it look thinner, to actually make it look wider and to add that shape back like that. You'll notice I did not use a shadow base because I went over my eyes with the foundation. So I always start out here because that's where you're going to get the most pigment, and that's where you want the most pigment. And if you were to like have a big glob, it's better for it to go right there. Trust me. And then I have to come up high. I'm staying on that bone, coming down, and I'm not going high up on my nose because that would make it look thinner. I'm widening a little bit, and then I'm doing the very end to not really shorten it, but kind of finish it off like that. And I really keep this out just in case I want to go back and blend with that color because it is a really good color to blend with. Okay, so now let's get back to the bronzer. This is something I do go overboard as far as so many steps, but I just really love to start off with this Chanel base, bronzing base, and I use the darker one, Deep Bronze. And I've told you so many times, you can never have too many of this brush. Like I just keep these around for everything. So I go into this and then I start just a little bit of bronzing high up on my cheek like that. And then I kind of use what's left. I will do the jawline. Okay, one thing I want to mention, and I like both, but there are people like me that go in with a little bit of a lighter foundation and then they choose to darken. Another way people do it is they go in with a makeup that were to match them exactly, and then they go in with lighter colors. You'll see them really do a lot of light under their eyes or down their jawline. I love that too. Matter of fact, I might try maybe the shade, I think when I looked, the shade 10.5 was supposed to be the same tone because this is light medium. So I'll look and see and I'll get that for us. But I just think I end up preferring starting lighter and then darkening like this. There we go. Okay, so that's just, I don't know if that just adds a little bit of warmth or what it does, but some things I do with my makeup, I don't even know why I like them so much, but they just make things work. So I'll leave that out. And then I showed you these two bronzers weeks ago, and I don't know if I've ever done a look with these, but they're the Lancome Tint Idole bronzers. And this one would be your everyday. This is shade, what does it say here? Light medium. Okay, with this type of bronzer, I'm going to go in with a bigger brush, but still kind of pointed. I'm going to tap lightly and kind of go over my whole cheek like that. I would say this is a satin finish. And I do a lot of this. I do a lot of stepping back and making sure I like what I see. And then, okay, this is dangerous because this bronzer is way too dark for me and it has like a red undertone. Let's see what shade this is. This is just tan, but it's one of those things, it's like magic. So I just barely dap my brush in it, knock it off, and then see how it adds. It's almost like a blush. Really adds that 90s model look to me, which is what I like. See, honestly, I could do my brows and my lips and be fine. I love all the contour. For blush, it's optional. I could go without blush, but I thought a good one that I try to think of this look, of course, and then I try to think of things that if you got and you only got this, it would be a good one, and especially with blushes and foundations. This is just the good old Pillow Talk. Now with blushes like this, I do like to take a wispy brush and go back and forth and just hit that high top of my cheek. Tilbury blushes just have a good amount of sheen in them. Okay, so now let's do our lips. I grabbed this new Maybelline, and what is the color here? I believe it's Player. I've got both my contacts in, so I'm wanting to do a nude lip, but you know what I like. So I go right on that white edge. And I did not put lip conditioner on. I sleep in it, but I don't put it on before I do my makeup because it will keep me from being able to do my lip liner. And I actually like that little bit of foundation, so I will perfect it and bring it in a little bit for this look. And I'm kind of stamping my lips together because I'm wanting to kind of really work it in. And I might go over just a little bit up there since we're doing this look. And then I was looking at my MAC lipsticks and trying to figure out the best one to use. Let's try Creme de Nude. Get over the lip liner. Kind of dry. Okay, I did bring some other ones out here. Okay, I think this is too light. Let's go in with Honey Love. Yeah. No, I did go right over that Creme de Nude. This is how it happens. When you guys ask me what I'm wearing and I don't know, I just keep on going till it looks right. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect look. Love it. Okay, Honey Love. Even Honey Love on its own would be good. Okay, now let's do brows. I want my brows to be just a little bit darker to go with this look. So I'm using the NYX, this new powder one in Taupe. I do love the blonde, but the taupe is a little bit, as you can see, more oomph. Can't make this up. Sorry, it broke off and I had to sharpen it. Okay, so I focus mainly on the arch. You can see how well this matches. And see, that one doesn't have as good of an arch. So I'll do it a little bit, but usually what I do is go ahead and comb them out or brush them out. Brush this one out. Keep this out. Then this is my favorite brow gel, laminate, whatever they want to call it. And I go through and brush them up and slick them back. And I think it's pretty even. Sometimes I'll go back in with the brow and maybe after I've done this, touch this up. But I think they're pretty even. Okay, now I think we're ready to finish our eyes with the Naked Basics palette. Okay, one thing I have to say is these brushes are so good. So don't discount this brush like we do with a lot of our makeups and brushes because it's a really good one. And I will be honest with you, even if you just stayed right in this zone, this palette is worth it. So I'm going to go in with Naked, which is, they quit making Naked in a single. So it's worth to get Naked. It's worth it to get Naked even with this palette. So I'm going to grab Naked on my small end of the brush here. And I'm going to kind of go over what we already have. And it's very similar. And then I'm going to take Naked and I'm going to go up under my eye like that. And how much you do this just kind of depends on, see, I kind of have that bottom eyelid right there that sticks out anyway. So it helps me, and a little side bonus is that it helps the wrinkles under my eyes a little bit. So I'm going to take this and work it up here a little bit like that. Another thing is I don't like my eyelids to be bright and to show a lot just because makes them even more deep set. So what I'll do is, okay, first I'm going to use the same end of the brush and grab some Buck, which is the next darkest shade. And I'm going to bring it in a little bit, wing it up all the way to my bone because I'm making my eyes appear bigger and bringing them out of that little bitty socket. So you can already see this eye versus that one. So this is Buck. I think that's Naked and Buck were, you know, like the really popular colors when this first came out, like that. And then with this same brush, you can just even tilt it up this way and kind of get closer down to your lashes like that. Okay, I have a towel here, so a lot of times I'll just wipe it off. They're just cheap white hand towels to use for this. And I'm going to take a little bit of Sin and just hit the top of my eyes right here. In reality, a guest model look, I think, would usually be more matte, but we're just doing it like this to use this palette. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of Virgin, pop it in the inner corner, just a little bit, not too much. I have such deep set eyes. This helps me a little bit. And then if you wanted to bring it across your lid, you could. Like I said, I prefer just kind of leaving mine alone. I could even take this fluffier end and dip it back in the Naked, knock it off a little bit, and I could even hit that with a little bit of Naked like that. Okay, I'm going to keep this out. This is what happens. I have to keep everything out in case I want to touch up. Now we're going to use my favorite gel liner that's black, and it is the Anastasia. Now I know a lot of people like other ones. I can't remember the name. There's another one that's really, really popular, but the reason I like this might be the reason you wouldn't like it. It's kind of dry. It's not one of those that brush just goes in and it almost gives you the advantage of being able to use a liner like this, but not have it too stark. So I like to go in with I just like a good pointed brush, nothing fancy. And then as you can see there, I always kind of wipe it off on the lid. And then on this eye, I start from the outside. And what I'm trying to achieve is I want to take the liner out to almost be level. And that kind of coincides with the guest model look, is a thicker liner. Now you'll notice some have the really dark lines, but there's several looks. Okay, another thing is I don't mind if mine is a little messy. Okay, now I know I need to go and hit down here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to look straight, bring it out a little bit, and come straighter across to create that. Now this eye, I start in here. See, I've already got kind of a template with my eyeshadow. I always end up grabbing a Q-tip. This one, for some reason, I don't know if it's the angle of my eye, but I accidentally make that one a little bit curvier and fatter. Okay, I think that's good. Now, the distance that you'll bring your wing out depends on your eye shape, the look you're going for. I've already told you my goal, so I need to bring it to that bone in order to make my eye look that big. So let's see, we're going to use mascara, and then we're going to use these lashes. This is the Bare Affair from Kiss, and I will show you how I take these off, grab them at the end because they will rip with tweezers. And then I know from using these for so long that I will cut 3 of the longest bunches off of the end. Okay, and before I do my mascara, I take my House of Lashes glue and just run it along the lash line like that. And I will use these lashes for days until they get to the point where they've gotten powder and eyeshadow on them. I'll just take them off tonight. And because the band is so thin and because I'm not going to put mascara on them, they will just come right off. Now you may be asking, would I use a setting spray? Typically I would have my space heater here, but I removed it so it wouldn't look ugly. But I really like this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. But, and a lot of people do, this is a very common one or a very popular one, but I like to hold it way back. I always test out the, there we go. I always kind of test out the stream, but like I said, I wish I'd had my heater. But you'll see that takes a lot of that powdery look away from the makeup. Typically, I don't have to worry about that too much because I have oily skin and I live in a humid climate, but I want the look to look good for you guys. So let's do some mascara. You know, they discontinued my favorite. So my next favorite is, I was just telling you about this, the small size Benefit Bad Gal. For some reason, that really makes a difference. And let's go for it. See how you can get right up in there. At first, I just kind of do them straight and just make sure I almost touch my lash line. And then I'm going to let that one dry for a minute. Do the other side. Pulling them all up straight. I don't use a lash primer. I would just rather use 2 coats of mascara. Okay, now this time I'm going to just focus more on the ends, and I might even crisscross them a little bit because my lashes are long, but they're not thick. So that makes them look a little bit more impactful. This one can get crazy over here because you know how your lashes kind of grow in clumps. Okay, now let's apply the lashes. What I do is, because I've trimmed these to almost, they're a little bit more than a half, maybe 1 piece more than a half, I go where my eye is tilting down and I let them go. I don't pull them up, I don't pull them down. I literally let them go where they land. And because I've got that good wing there, it's a good landing spot for them. And that glue will dry. Typically, I would have had my heater here and I would have dried them in the heater. I should have not worried about how it looked. right where it starts to tilt down. I don't pull them down. I don't pull them up. I just literally attach them where they are. This is where if I were using like a brown liner and it wasn't dark enough, this would show. So I've got to make sure I use something dark enough to do that. Now, one thing you can do, this is my favorite liner. If I'm using a pen, you can go right in that area and darken it. Like that. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of, looking to see what liners I have here. This is the Caviar from Laura Mercier. That looks so dark. Do I want to go that dark? I really like Bourbon. Yeah, from 24/7 from Urban Decay. This is my favorite waterline. See, I feel like it still gives me that shadowy look, but without being too crazy. Okay, I think I'll touch my skin a little bit more with that one. If you want more color, you would touch the lashes, the lash line. Okay, guys, now is the time that I would take my hair down, see what I'm really going to look like, assess the situation, and I think we did good. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions down below about the 21 Days of Beauty with Ulta Beauty. Thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Of course, I will leave all of the details on that below. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.